Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Abby Ritchie, and I am the founder and CEO of Senior Savvy. Senior Savvy provides Zoom tech workshops, tech concierge services, and one-on-one private lessons for older adults at senior living communities across the country. Today's workshop is about you. It really is. It's about your questions. And I love providing this particular forum once a month so that you can ask whatever random question you have on your mind and get an answer. You see, all month long, what we do is we have a curriculum of workshops that we're offering. And my students are engaged, they're active, you're taking notes. I love that I'm always in the presence of lifelong learners. But I do know that some of you are just hanging in there for the end, for the last 10, 15 minutes so that you can ask a question that just came up about your technology that has nothing to do with the topic of the day. I'm okay with it, but I like to provide this forum, Tech Cafe Ask Away, every month so that the little random questions that seem to come up throughout the month have a home every single month in our Tech Cafe. So I gather up all your questions, and you guys have been wonderful emailing them to me. You've been wonderful submitting them in one way or another. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to answer your questions. All right. And I want to thank you because you've been tracking with me all along. You've been submitting your questions. I know some of you are here with me today. I've heard you ding, ding, log in. So I'm thrilled that you're here with me. I'm also recording this so you can get a full recording of this if you would like. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and we're going to hop right into this. So the first question that I had was from, let's see. Oh, okay, great. This one's from Joni. Joni says, my iPhone is hard to see. Sometimes it's hard to see outside. Sometimes the font's too small and it's hard on my eyes to see it. Okay, I totally get you. I totally get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you right over here, and I'm going to cue this up. Now, I have a very special camera. It's right here. I'm going to lift it up. There you go. It's right here. It's called a DocuCam. A lot of teachers like to use this. So what I'm going to do is the reason I like to use this as opposed to sharing my screen with you, which I could do, is that when I use this DocuCam, you can see my fingertips. And I want you to see my fingertips, okay? Because it's going to help you learn the steps better. So here we go. Let me go ahead and share this and cue it up for you. Okay, so here we go. Let's get this. There we go. Okay, goody. So here is my phone, and we had someone submit that there is a question about not being able to see the phone clearly. I get it. So I want to show you where you can go on your device to make it easier for you to see. We're going to head right here. And actually, I'm going to use this stylus because I think it's easier when I'm pointing. So I'm going to head right here, and I'm going to tap on the Settings app. Okay. And in the Settings app, I'm going to scroll down until I get to Display and Brightness. That's where we're going. Let me tap there. Now, the first option here is I can go from the light mode to the dark mode. And I'll tell you guys, quite frankly, I am almost always, except when I'm teaching, using this dark mode because I found it's easier on my eyes. It really is. I have a lot less visual fatigue when there's a less bright light coming at me. However, when I'm teaching the light mode, it's just easier to see, okay? Now, Johnny, you want to make sure that this automatic isn't turned on because it could automatically be making adjustments for you that you don't like. Next, I want you to go to where it says text size. Now, the default here is usually pretty small. I would say it's like an 8-point default font size, and that is hard to see. So what I want you to do is I want you to customize your font size so it's easy for you. And you don't have to go grabbing your glasses and getting the right pair of glasses and putting them on and off. No, I want you to make that adjustment. Now, I prefer to bring mine up to just about there. I would say it's maybe 60, 70%, right about there. But you make it the way you want it to be. This is your phone. It's not your daughter's phone. Not anymore. Next, I want you to turn bold text on. Look at the difference here. When I toggle this button off, everything is just kind of, well, it looks just kind of blah to me, okay? But when I toggle it on, look what happens. The headers are nice and bright and bold. Oh, I love that. Now, we're going to scroll down a little bit more because this might be the place, Johnny, that's bothering you. It could be that this brightness could be turned down too much. That happens often. So I want you to adjust it where you want it to be. Okay. One more thing here. One more thing I got to show you. I love sharing this with people too. And it's down here towards the bottom. Oh, actually, there's two things. Okay. And while I'm here in this setting, I've got to show this to you. So where it says auto lock right here. Now, the default for the auto lock is 30 seconds. You know what that means? That means that your phone will automatically lock and go black after 30 seconds. And that doesn't work for a lot of my students. That's fast. That doesn't give you enough time sometimes to think about what were you going to do. You might need a little more time to think about the text you're going to write. So adjust it to something like 3 minutes. Could be a lot more forgivable, right? So adjust it to 3 minutes. Let's go back. Now I want you to go right here, display zoom. Display zoom. Now the default here is that everything is kind of small. Now, it's hard to tell. I can tell. But when you go to larger text, all of your apps and the sizing and the numbers and everything gets a little bit bigger. It's like you just loosened your belt a little bit. It's a little more comfortable. And I want you to be as comfortable as possible when you're using your device. So go to larger text and then tap done. Your screen might turn off for a quick second and then turn back on. And that, Joanne, is how you, Joni, is how you make those necessary adjustments so your screen is more comfortable. That's how you do it. Now, I would love to do this with you in person or remotely. So if you would like me to help you, just go ahead and reach out to me anytime, okay? I am going to put my phone number and my email address on the screen in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and read here. What is the next question? Oh, and we also do a deep dive in a workshop about how to use and your settings in your iPhone. We do a deep dive. That's right, because we know that's just the tip of the iceberg right there. So if you want to join one of our workshops, if you want to know more about adjusting your settings, we do a whole workshop just on iPhone settings. That's right. So I want you to let me know if you want to participate in one of our workshops on adjusting your iPhone settings. Okay. Now let me go ahead and read the next question. Let's see. Okay, good. So Siri, So I have a question about using Siri on your phone. Great. Let me go ahead and cue this up. I'm going to share the screen in a very similar way as I did last time. Okay, now I'm going to go right to my home screen here. And let's see, Bob wants to know how to get started using Siri. Oh, good. Bob, you must have watched our workshop the other day on the digital assistants. So here's how you do it. What I always say is you start small. Okay, watch this. Hey, Siri, what is the weather in Phoenix, Arizona? Hey, Siri, can you say that out loud? So I'm thinking perhaps I either have my volume down or this is getting connected to a speaker somewhere, but let me try this again. Hey, Siri, what is the weather in Phoenix, Arizona? Okay. Hey, Siri, what is the time in London? Okay. So there's a really good chance that somehow Siri is connected to my Bluetooth speakers that I recently had on. And so she's not emitting the answers. So you want to make sure that your Bluetooth isn't connected if you want to hear the answers out loud. But in regards to Siri, I want to let you know that I want you to start small. Yeah, just start small. Ask simple, basic questions. But let's go ahead. Let's go into the settings here and let's take a look at the Bluetooth. Okay. And this is great because this actually answers another one of our questions that we got from Diane. Diane wants to know, what is Bluetooth? What is Bluetooth? Do I need it? What do I need to know about it? Okay, this is a great question, Diane. We do talk about this in more detail in our connectivity workshop, where we talk about Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, hotspots. What do you need to know about them? I think it's kind of a modern day skill. You need to know how to get yourself connected on the Wi-Fi when you're at home, when you're not at home, how to use Bluetooth, using Bluetooth in your car, on a headset, all that stuff. So we talk about that in our workshop and we go deep. But I want to show you how to connect and disconnect Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your phone. Okay, because I think there's a little trick to it and I want to show this to you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Here we go. Let me cue this up. And great. Okay, you are seeing that screen. Good. So in your settings, there's Wi-Fi. And when you click on the Wi-Fi, by the way, Wi-Fi is like a wireless antenna. That's what it is. It's a wireless antenna. And as you know, when in the good old days, when you had an old-fashioned radio and you had to tune it, right? There are times that it would get off untuned and you had to just tune it again. You didn't touch it or anything from day to day, but once in a while you had to tune it. The Wi-Fi is kind of like that. It may need you to reset it every now and then. You might get kicked off the Wi-Fi and you may have to put yourself back on the Wi-Fi. So knowing how to toggle that off and toggle it back on is helpful for sure. Now, the Wi-Fis that have this little lock by them, that means that they're secured with a password. When it has an I by it, that means that there's information. So when you tap it, there'll be information behind it. If you want to always join that Wi-Fi, like this is my home Wi-Fi, I want to automatically join it when I come home, then you want to have on auto join. Now I'm going to go back out here and I'm going to go to Bluetooth. Let's talk about Bluetooth, okay? Bluetooth is also a wireless connection like Wi-Fi, but Bluetooth is a short range, low energy connection. Short range, low energy connection, like a wireless keyboard. That keyboard's very close to your computer, short range, doesn't take up a lot of energy. So it can connect wirelessly. It can connect and work off the charge that you give it once every 3 months or so. A pair of little headphones. Those are short range because they're right here and maybe connected via Bluetooth to your phone. And they're working off the energy of the charge. Short range, low energy. That's what a Bluetooth wireless connection is for. Now, these can be a little tricky too sometimes. And so there are times where you might need to go in and you may need to toggle the connection on and off. You might need to go in and forget the device and then reconnect it if it's not getting connected. And you know what? It can get really tricky sometimes, especially if you're wearing hearing aids. And in that case, you definitely want to consult with your audiologist. Okay, well, good. We talked about that briefly. We definitely dive in deep in our connectivity workshop. And now what I want to do, okay, we got that. I'm just crossing these off my list here. Let's see. So now what I want to do is I want to answer some more questions. So I got a question from Eleanor, who's asking me about her trackpad on her laptop, you know, the trackpad on the laptop. And actually, I get a lot of questions, I observe a lot of my students using their laptops, and that trackpad is extremely sensitive. It's like where you put your finger to do the mouse and the cursor movement. And what happens is sometimes the heel of your palm will touch it and tap it and make everything go wrong and disappear on your screen. So what I recommend is that you get yourself an external mouse that you plug in like that, or a wireless mouse, okay? You get yourself an external mouse, you plug this into the side of your computer, and instead of using the trackpad, which I find very difficult to use a mouse instead. You're gonna have a lot more accuracy using a mouse. And these are like $10, $20 tops on Amazon or Target, okay? That is my recommendation to you. Don't use the trackpad. It can be very complicated, very tricky, and it really complicates a lot of things for my students. Great question. Now, we do talk about that a little bit more in detail in our keyboarding class. Keyboarding skills have really changed a lot since the last time we were in a keyboarding class, right? Using a typewriter, things have changed so much with text messaging and dictating. We've got the trackpad and all these different ways to get a message across. So we have a workshop that dives in deep with keyboarding skills, 100%. So I would love to be able to teach that to your community. Okay, I'm looking. Oh, this is a really good question. Good. This is a really good question. So, let's see. Bob is asking about his iCloud. What is my iCloud? How do I know it's getting backed up to it? How can I tell? Okay, this is a great question. We do talk about this in detail in a workshop on iCloud. I know it can be really complicated because actually no one has ever explained this to you before, right? And I'm sorry about that, but I'm here today and I will teach this to you in a workshop. I promise. I'm going to try to teach it to you right now. But the iCloud is like a virtual filing cabinet in the sky, all right? That's hosting your information for you. Now, every Apple user is assigned an Apple ID and 5 5 measly gigabytes of iCloud storage. It's not much, especially if you've got a lot of data like I do and kids. So, but what I want to show you is this. First, I got to show you what your Apple ID is. And so let me go ahead and just cue this up. So I want to show you where you can go. I need you to know exactly what your Apple ID is. I'm going to go into the settings. Right up here where my name is, and it says Apple ID, right up there. I'm going to tap there, and right underneath my name, that's my Apple ID, okay? Even if you're not using that email anymore, that's your Apple ID. You only need one Apple ID, and I hope you're not sharing the same one with your spouse, because that is a recipe for disaster, all right? Trust me. So you two wouldn't share a driver's license, right? So there is your Apple ID, okay? And you can see what's being backed up on the cloud right here. And if you really and truly need more storage, because sometimes Apple just sends these messages wanting you to upgrade your storage. Now, right here, I can tell I've had to upgrade my storage because I've got a family and we're always exceeding our gigabytes and multiple devices. You only get 5 gigabytes across all of your Apple devices. Nonetheless, I want you to be able to know exactly where to go to check if you have exceeded your storage. So right here, you can see I have not exceeded, but my biggest category are photos, right? So that would be the first place I would start taking back some of my storage by deleting some photos. Okay, now that's one way you can tell what's in your iCloud. Now, let's say you have lost your phone. It's gone. It's gone. It's totally gone. You don't know where it is. Or let's say you ran over it, or you dropped it in the bathtub. I know these are all terrible things to think about, right? But I want to show you how you can get back your information because it's getting backed up to the cloud. And how you can also transfer your phone in the same way in all of your details and verify what's getting backed up in the cloud. So what I did here was I went to a Google page, and this doesn't matter if you're on an Apple device or PC device, it doesn't matter. You go to iCloud.com, iCloud.com. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to put in your Apple ID. You're going to sign in with that same Apple ID. Mine knows me already. And your password, which I hope you have. If you don't, call me. I will help you figure it out. And you're going to go here on the computer. Probably the most difficult part is logging in with the right password. But here, you're going to be able to review everything, including all of your contacts are being backed up to the cloud. So even if you lost your phone and you can't find your contacts anymore, they're all right here. Yes, they are. All of your email, all of your photos. If you can't find them, they're all right here on the computer. Exactly. So I wanted you to have the peace of mind to know that this is where your cloud storage is. Isn't that great? I hope you feel relieved. You can also go right here to find mine. And if you lost your device, you can try to locate it by using the Find My app to locate your device. Now, guess what? We are out of time. How does that happen? Why'd you guys let me ramble on? Blah, blah, blah. I still have about 5 more questions that you submitted. We should keep the party going, right? I would love to do that. So listen, I'm going to go ahead and put some information up right now. Why? Because I want to continue to work with you. I really, really, really do. So here you go. Here's how we do this, okay? I want to keep things going with you. So let me put this up here. Let me make sure you have this information, and let us start bringing these workshops to you on a weekly basis so that we can empower you with the tech skills you need to excel in today's world, with tech workshops, tech concierge services, and one-on-one sessions. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Tell your executive director and tell your Engaged Life director today that you would like this on your weekly calendar. I would like it too. Now, if you want to reach out to me today, you can do that. There's my phone number. There's my email. We will give you 20% off your first session. I want to keep the party going with you. I want to keep serving you. So please reach out to me and let's keep learning. And let's keep engaging. And let's keep strengthening your tech muscle, okay? Because even once you learn a whole lot, everything continues to update and change. And I just said that word update. And you know what that reminds me of? You guys have got to do your updates, okay? You got to do them. Even if it says in your settings that you've turned on automatic updates, you still have got to initiate them at least twice a year, okay? A lot of tech support issues could be gone if people just updated their software. Seriously, 100%. Okay, again, I would love to bring these to you every single week. It would be my honor. It would be my pleasure to serve you on a weekly basis. Guys, thank you so much for sending in your questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your engagement. And I would love to see you again. Have a great day. Bye.